Let us do it. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 129 of the KBMOD podcast. We've got the full normal crew. I think we were missing someone last week, weren't we? I don't know if we had the full crew.
Actually, Scott.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
last
today.
week.
We did have the full crew last week. It feels weird to have it 2 weeks in a row, especially
I know.
with Nick here. This is like a record for him, 2 weeks in a row. It is the 16th of February, one day before President's Day, which I'm sure you all have no work on President's Day, so that's good, right?
You're all federal
you don't
employees.
have work either, do you, Scott?
No, I'm really
Yeah,
going to be
it's really-
celebrating President's Day. So it's going to be crazy.
He's
I
been,
think
so,
I might-
he's been,
I
he's been
might sleep
appreciating
until
the past
12.
presidents for a couple months now. So
Yeah, every day is President's Day for me. When I put on my old George Washington wig and jack off in my chair. That's how I celebrate it. All right.
I support.
I appreciate that. That's really patriotic in a lot of ways.
everyone
It
celebrates
absolutely is.
differently.
And I suck on those. You know those kind of popsicles that are like America.
Red,
the
white,
Red,
and
white,
blue?
and blue ones.
the
Yeah.
red, white, and blue. I then come red, white, and blue all over myself. So I feel like
Jesus.
I feel like that's really celebrating to a level that
Nice.
most people do not. But enough about me. What has everyone else been doing this week? Titanfall. I feel like we should just say Titanfall.
Well,
obviously.
I think we should do it this way. I think we should go around, say what we've been playing that isn't Titanfall,
Okay.
and
good
then
call.
talk about Titanfall.
Well, I'll go first because I haven't touched Titanfall. So I have not been playing Titanfall. I've been playing League of Legends. I played some Nether, played some Nazi zombie army. Two.
God, I hope they don't annualize Nazi zombie army. That would just
Yeah.
make it into generic garbage.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah,
I'd be
they're
down with it.
definitely
A lot of
going to.
Yeah. They're
I mean,
making a
when you
full
look
game.
at
The
when you look at
$20
the
game, that was a
differences, when you look
joke.
at the difference between the first and the second one, it's really like they added a couple new like enemies, and the map, like the missions are different. So I mean,
That's all
Yeah,
you
a
need
lot
to
of
do,
people
though.
shit on like Nazi or the DLC or whatever. But I don't understand. I don't understand why. That game is so fun. Maybe if you were playing it by yourself, I could see it getting maybe a little bit boring and repetitive. But
Yeah.
I don't. We have a blast with it. So that Nether got a huge update recently. So anyway, we jumped in there for a little bit, and then we're streaming with Sark, and so he had like a bit. We got a big posse together in Nether for the first time, and that was the first time I'd seen how that would go because they added a group system, and it's actually
Oh,
really
that's cool. Because the
really
game,
Way to
cool.
name drop.
huh?
yeah.
That's really
What Nether? Yeah, I know Nether.
that's something that
I know Nether personally, Mr. Nether.
Mr. Nether.
although DayZ would kind of be ruined by a party system in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because I mean that goes against the whole sort of minimal realistic side of it. But I think that's a great inclusion for a game like that.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, and when you group up, it's friendly fire still on, so people, you got to be
Right.
careful. Like people will still kill you. And anyway, they've updated the game a shit ton, and it looks like they're gonna keep patching it like crazy. So anyway, that was me. Who else has played things besides Titanfall? And
I
wants
think
to go?
probably everybody.
No, well, I mean, I think he means who hasn't played Titanfall at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Which
Blah,
is-
I think.
Me, pretty much. I'm just waiting for that shit to go open because I didn't care
I
enough.
thought it
and
was
then
open
everybody said
today.
It
open
opened
on
on
Xbox.
Xbox.
Open
No,
on,
but
yeah, I think
they said
PC.
yesterday that it was opening on PC tomorrow, which is today.
They did say that.
Yeah, they fucking
hasn't-
lied. I'm
I
all
mean,
up on ours.
It'll
now.
probably be up at
Shit.
like late tonight.
It hasn't
something.
exactly been difficult to get a key if you've really been interested.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not terribly interested, to be fair. But-
Yeah, that's what I felt like too. But
I mean,
would have
that's
to
what-
get it open.
At this point, it's just like the hype is so great.
The hype train
I
is.
have to
It's
jump
like
on.
that fucking Coors Light train right now. It is.
It's
it is
powering
going through
all your
towns.
events.
By the
Pulling
way, I'm
everyone
just
down.
going to bring this up again. Did anyone else? This was a few weeks ago, but that Onion video of the tragedy caused by the Coors Light train, one of the
Oh, I didn't
great
see it.
videos on the internet. Here, it was basically
I'm
it
not
was
even
like
talking
breaking news, and it was the Onion, obviously. The Coors Light train like sped through a town, killing thousands, and like, and like
I
in
did
the
not see that.
yeah, I tweeted it, and like in the video, there's So they're trying to rescue people, and while they try to rescue them, like out of the wreckage, like beers are appearing in their hands, so they can't like grab onto each other because these Coors Light bottles keep appearing. And they go to this quick shot of this little girl, and like there's like two bodies behind her, so you can like assume it's her parents or something. And she's just sitting there with like a whole 6-pack of Coors Light in her hands, just crying. Like it's amazing. You gotta go look at it. But go ahead.
All right.
Did you watch? Real quick, speaking of the Onion, did you see the one with all the Olympic athletes fucking each other?
Yeah,
that Onion one. Oh god, it's so good.
That is the Olympic Village.
Yep. The Olympic.
What else did you play, Blas? Since you did not play Titanfall.
Well, I actually got to play Bravely Default last week. I said I basically started the cutscene, and now I've actually gotten to play it, which is the Square Enix JRPG on 3DS, which is confusing for many. It was confusing to me to realize that it just is a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, it is.
And I assume they didn't call it Final Fantasy in any form because they didn't want to confuse people between a solid old school JRPG and third-person overacted garbage. So they just called it Bravely Default, and it's actually sort of a retelling of the first Final Fantasy game. If you look at all the major plot points, it basically follows the main plot of Final Fantasy 1 almost exactly, but Final Fantasy 1 is so old, it was just basically bare bones, barely any dialogue or story or character development. So they basically just threw all that stuff that you would expect from a more developed JRPG on the bare bones skeleton of Final Fantasy 1, which is it's a really cool approach to making a game. But it has like all the old school Final Fantasy jobs, even some that are like a little bit more obscure. You unlock them via like side quests and via the story. It's really good. The voice acting is like okay, which is in JRPG terms amazing. If your voice acting is just okay and it's in a JRPG, then you're like leaps and bounds beyond most JRPGs. So I'm happy with it so far. I've got it to stream it a lot because I have a 3DS cap card.
How long did that take you to get back? I know it takes a while. It's like two dudes that do it, right?
It's
like,
one dude. There's one dude for America and there's one dude for Europe. That's it.
That's so crazy.
That's it. And and the dude in America, I don't know about the guy in Europe, but the guy in America goes on hiatus a lot because he's he's got shit going on in his life. But he takes breaks to like develop other pieces. Like he took a break to develop a cap method for the Wii U tablet. The Wii pad, whatever the fuck that thing's called. And he's now taking a break to figure out how to get audio across the USB on the 3DS cap card. So like, actually I have right here, sorry for those of you who listen to audio version, you fucking cavemen, but here's the thing. That's the like, oh, actually my other DS I can compare. There's the game, right? And then that's about all that's going on. And then the cap card is actually super thin, just sits along the bottom, and there's tiny little micro USB or mini USB or whichever that is. I always get this mixed up. That you plug in, and then that goes USB to your computer, and then you download the software from the site, and it's super simple. Just plug and play. You don't need to install crazy drivers or anything. You don't need any super complex setups. The only thing that's a little annoying is you need a 3.5 millimeter audio cable running from the mic slot into a mic input on your motherboard, and then you need
so it's like a live gamer.
Kind of, yeah. You need, except it doesn't even wire to the speakers. You actually have to put it into a microphone slot and then use the listen to this device checkbox in Windows. But
still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little complicated. It had to come with a noise filter, or else it has this horrible high pitched screech. And then on top of that, in order for it to actually reach back there, I have it plugged into the breakaway part of my headset. So it's like this huge just mess of wires that just sits on my lap. And then on top of that, it drains the battery really quickly. So you also have to have your charger plugged in. So this thing is just getting triple penetrated by wires. Like this is more than most porn stars are comfortable with. It's like really, really bad. But he's currently developing about it's great how easily it works once you just get everything set up. But it's just a problem of too many wires on a very small device. It's fine. It works great, but that's the one downside. So he's working on a way to get the audio over USB, which is apparently something he can do via a firmware update. He doesn't need to update any of the hardware once he gets it figured out.
It's baffling to me that, not that it would be a huge need, because frankly, well, part of the reason there isn't much 3DS streaming is because it's very hard to stream, obviously. Yeah. Because you need one of these two guys to do it. It's crazy to me. This is much like DS Fix. DS fix for Dark Souls, like it took one guy one day to fix everything in that game, and yet like From Software was like, we really don't know what we're doing with PC, which I actually totally buy. Probably didn't at all.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it took one guy one day to fix all that shit, and it's like 2 dudes in the world are making capture devices for the most popular handheld in the world, with many long, good games that could be streamed or captured for video, either one.
Oh, there's
And
a lot
that's
of
it.
great games
And,
to
like,
Let's Play.
It doesn't surprise me that Nintendo hasn't made something like this, because it's
disappointing,
Nintendo.
but not
But
surprising.
there's also nothing for like the Vita, which like not that there's many exclusive Vita titles, but Giant Bomb had a whole thing where they were like, we had to like
It's a
Put-
fucking pain.
put the Vita. Well, originally they had to put the Vita in like a stand, and then film the screen,
Yeah, just film it.
and like they had to play with
Yeah.
the Vita in a stand, so it was like really
That's what a lot of
difficult
people.
to-
That's what a lot of people still do.
That
Yeah.
sucks. Well, it's funny because it's funny that there's no. I don't know anything about the Vita. I don't have one, but it's funny that there's no capture method for it because I actually had a really easy capture method for my PSP that I never really used. I made like maybe 2 videos with any PSP games ever in my life, but there used to be a cable that would plug into the bottom somewhere, and then that would have a component output that you could use to play your PSP on your TV. And it was really, really handy, really convenient, and that fit right into my HD PVR.
It's crazy because any phone, any smartphone, you can hook up via the USB and like show it on your
Yeah.
TV. Like,
Yeah.
or you
I
can
don't
get a mini
understand.
USB to HDMI cable, and you can just do it.
This
Like,
is just
it's not hard.
this is a market that really should be embraced. Really hard. It's not going to take much for them to develop something like that and just sell a peripheral that allows you to. I mean, because there's more uses for that than just capture. But on top of that, when things are captured, that's basically free advertising. Because you're
Wait,
right. I mean, it's just,
If you wanted to capture your Vita, if you had a PS4, couldn't you stream your Vita to your PS4 and then cap off of the PS4 possibly?
Yes.
That's a lot to do, like, just to capture a
Not
Vita.
even,
but-
it's-
I wonder how the late.
I've
Well,
used it more.
I mean, I wonder if you could use PlayStation 4's streaming while you're streaming a Vita game.
That's a good
Probably
question.
could.
Actually. I probably
Probably could stream
I don't know-
directly
I don't
from
know
the
for sure,
PS4.
though. But I don't know. It's really not. To answer your question, your original question was how long did it take me to get it back? I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks, whereas many people reported waiting for about 6 weeks. But I also didn't mail it to the guy for about 2 months after I paid for it because I just kind of forgot. And he actually emailed me and he was like, "Are you sending your 3DS?" I was like, "Shit, yes, I am. Sorry." And so I must have been
Did
like,
you enjoy the money?
one of the last, yeah, right. I must have been one of like the last people to send in their 3DSs, so he probably didn't have anything else queued up, and he probably just wanted to knock out this last batch of them before he took a break to work on the audio thing. So that game is fucking great, though. I unfortunately haven't played much Dark Souls this week just because of the other 2 RPGs in my life. I did play some Hearthstone as we were discussing earlier, and I've been doing fucking terrible on Hearthstone this week. Just awful. Just hilariously awful. It's a mixture of just bad play on my part and bad RNG. It's everything sucks about Hearthstone right now. I only play Arena. It's so RNG. I don't know how many times I can run into a mage on my first Arena game that has legendaries. Like legendaries and pyroblasts. Like every time. Every time. That's like my first Arena match in every deck I've played. is a mage with legendaries. It's absurd. But I'm not gonna be playing Hearthstone for a while. I'm gonna wait for some quests. I'm quite upset. I've been trolled. I've been rused. I've been made loony by these machinations, and I'm just gonna take a break for Hearthstone. Partly because I'm frustrated with the game, and partly because I want to build up some quests to get some more gold, so I have capital to put back into Arena without having to spend money.
Yeah. Once you get like a couple hundred gold, it's not that hard to keep it going. As long as
Yeah.
you're not trying to play all in one day.
Usually it's pretty easy to keep going. I burnt through 450 gold very, very quickly because I had 2 0 and 3 Arena runs, and that
so
was
you're
2
just
days
terrible.
ago. 0 and like seriously, the world 2 in one day. I had 0 and 3s, which almost never happens to me. The worst I usually go is 2 and 3. And then I had a 1 and 3 yesterday, and I was just like, I'm just done. My pulls have been crap. My top decking has been crap. My play has been crap. It's just, I need to take a break.
So basically, Hearthstone is a bad game for bad players.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, what I need to do is watch the Crip, so I feel I have sex with the Crip.
I was about to say, how's your wrecking going? You're not top decking, you're not wrecking.
Are you
Yeah.
a moist mage pyroblasted too?
It's it turns out when you're not top decking, you're not really doing too much wrecking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. What about you, Knack Proton?
Hearthstone, Nazi Zombie Army, Nether, then Titanfall. But I guess we can hold off and talk
Yeah,
about
we'll go
Titanfall.
Titanfall last.
Oh, no.
What about you, John?
Believe it or not, I hopped back on that TF2 train pretty heavily and been playing some 6v6 all week.
Nice.
And WoW,
Nice.
and well, that's about it really. Mostly WoW, but a lot of TF2, mostly WoW.
Tons of WoW.
Like 12 hours yesterday with Joe Rod. It's good.
I heard it was KBMOD raid night last night in WoW.
We just did all
raid
kinds of old shit.
That's awesome. I
We
need
did
to
all the
level.
old heroics, so like we just went and killed Deathwing on heroic and shit. It was good.
All right. Brandon?
Just mainly Hearthstone. I spent $50 more on it.
You're a
Oh
fucking
my god.
insane person.
It's the new
Yeah.
times for Brandon. It's what he plays every week. It's like the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy impulse purchase. It's like, you know what I'd really like? I'd like more legendaries in Hearthstone, and I don't really want to wait, so I'll just spend more money. And I normally don't have that mindset, but I spent $50 more, and I got unfortunately a copy of a legendary I already had, but then I also got Sylvanas, so I opened all those.
Best card. As we discussed a little before the cast, we
Yeah,
Sylvanas
I mean,
is
I am,
close to the
I am
best
glad
card.
I got Sylvanas because you can use that in pretty much any deck, and I have a lot of dust now. I guess like the nice thing about the next like your second purchase of packs is that because you already have so many of the cards,
Yeah.
you get a ton more dust from that second
Oh.
pack.
I actually started playing Arena today. Not to cut into your Hearthstone addiction, but I have I don't play Arena like we discussed this last week, but I started today because every pack I've gotten for like the past, I usually just go buy a pack when I get 100 gold. I am now getting doubles of 4 out of 5 or all the cards all the
Yeah.
time now. So I was just basically like, there's no point to me even buying packs anymore. So now I am going into Arena. It's rough.
Yeah, it's like it almost I feel like they should
hard.
maybe even make packs a little bit cheaper or something because Arena, like unless you have really terrible Arena runs like Blah did and you just go 0-3 constantly, your Arena run almost always pays
constantly.
for itself.
Well, this week
two-
you did.
Two
This
0-3
weekly.
Two 0-3 runs. I don't know that you're
Yeah,
even allowed to
that's when
talk
it starts to
about
become
the
not
past.
worth it, and then you have to realize that probably a majority of people who like play the game casually are probably sitting at around that as their average, like 0 and
Probably.
3. It was between like
Yeah.
0 and 3 to 3 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
judging by some of the opponents I've gotten at 0 and 1 wins, I can attest that there are a lot of people that are just on the very bottom that I usually never see. But yeah,
well,
well,
Mr. Professional Kriparian over here.
I had the worst draw. I picked Rogue, and then I didn't even get an epic in like the draw. Like to
I haven't seen an
choose.
epic in like 6 arena runs.
Like it
let
was
alone
all a
legendary.
few rares and commons. Like it was terrible.
that's
You-
one thing
yeah,
that
no,
I feel like they should standardize that. or
Yeah, I
something,
totally
because
agree with you.
the fact that you can get like 2 legendaries and go up against someone in arena who has none or like doesn't even have epics. I
Yeah.
think
Yep.
that piece of it is maybe a little too random. but-
It's very bad. It's really really luck of the draw bait. It makes it too
Yeah, there should
too
be like it should be kind of like
RNG.
one legendary, and
One
then like
legendary, 1 or 2 epics, and then like 5 between 3 and 5
you
rares.
could vary everything else, but maybe limit it to 1 legendary in arena because. If you get like a Sylvanas and a Karen, like those are, as we discussed a little before the cast started, like those 2 cards are pretty much the best cards in the game. So if you were randomly to get those, like
I also
Boom.
want to know
There
how
it is.
fucking lucky some of these guys are who are like super good at the game. I want to know when luck and skill meet, because Crip was sitting there. He was like, this shitty mage deck, and he's sitting there with a mage deck with 2 legendaries. He had Sylvanas and Death Mage Volnos. I was like, how is that shitty? He had no Pyroblast, but like that was it. It was
Yeah.
I don't know. These people who are like really good at the game who go like 12-0 constantly.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of that's sort of the fun of arena, but I also like when you're on the bad end of it and you don't get any of them, it's kind of like you just have to trudge through
It's
your
very
bad run because like you're
Yeah.
not going to do very well. But surprisingly, like on the other side of that, I've had decks where I thought they were going to be pretty poor and I ended up getting like 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it
I've
kind
had
of goes both ways, but it definitely is very random. It's just that like because you know that if you win 2 or 3, everything after that is just profit above what you would have paid for a pack.
Right.
Like it's almost always worth it. So I played a lot of Hearthstone this week. It's the easiest thing for me to play and like do other things
Yeah,
because I'm
true.
waiting for someone I can watch a stream or just like I can multitask while I'm playing Hearthstone, which is nice.
Yep.
And then Titanfall, which we'll get to, a little bit of League, and actually I think that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go last, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of Titanfall and our feels upon that game. But I played a good chunk of Hearthstone this week, and like I said, decided to step into the arena finally. I went 1-3 my first run, and like I just said, it was the worst draw like possible. I was playing a rogue deck, got nothing. I got 1 eviscerate. Like it was like nothing at all
No
fell
removal?
my way. Yeah, like no removal at all. No utility to the deck whatsoever. It was like every single 3 pick was like minions. There was just nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing
the
in
last time I rolled Rogue in Arena, I got, which was one of my 0-3s, if not my 1-3. It was my removal was Shiv, Fan of Knives, and Betrayal. Not a single assassinate, not a single eviscerate, nothing.
Yep.
Fucking garbage.
It was bad, but other than that, I played about 6 or 8 hours of Super Street Fighter 4 this week. I had an open lobby
nerd.
with KBMOD folks on Friday. Got my butt kicked, but that was more fun to get beat around in there. I've been playing Jury a lot, who isn't a very good character in the first place, but I have a better grasp on her. Her and Sagat are what I tend to play in the game. But I did step into ranked play on PC. And if you have Super Street Fighter 4, don't go into ranked play and not host. Not because of lag. The netcode is actually pretty good in the game. I never had a single match where there was any lag. That was I could feel or anything. Don't go into ranked mode as like quick match. Quick match is one of the things where you will join someone else's session. Go in as the host with your own set of rules set. So you can set 3 rounds, 99 time limit, and same region, because people fucking were setting like 1 round, 10-second time limits and shit. And it was just like, why is this even allowed in ranked? It should be a standard of like tournament play, which is, best
That was
of 3.
always a major downside of
like
SF4 Online.
And I got a bunch of those in a row. So then after that, because it's actually faster to do the quick join to get into matches than it is to host. But I was just like, you know what? I'll take the downtime because it is it is ludicrous. I fought some dude who played Ken, hit me with 2 things, and then just played keep away because I didn't even realize it because I wasn't even thinking like that you could even change that to make a custom match. Nope, he had like 1 round wins and like 10-second time limit. So once he had me in a health deficit, he just ran away. And it was just like how is this fun? And you get the same amount of points.
Yep.
Like for winning that as you do.
I don't understand why people would do that, because eventually they're going to get bored of doing that, and then they're just not ever going to be able to play ranked again because they'll be against a whole bunch of people who are way better than them because they didn't pull that bullshit.
Yeah, like if you get early hits in and then you do that for a bunch of matches in a row, you'll get ranked high enough that you start facing people who know what they're doing, who aren't me.
and who will pay attention.
Yeah. And like, because that match was once that happened, I started looking like for weird round counts or whatever. But it was just like, come on, like there's a tournament play like best of 3 rounds, 99-second time limit. Like that's the arcade. That's everything is set that way. So I started doing host. I won maybe 5 matches total out of like 50, but it was still a lot of fun for me. Even getting even getting
Good to
beat
see
down.
where you stand too.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I was getting a better grasp on like how to do stuff, because I usually was just sitting around doing computer, and that's no fun. The computer actually can be harder in a lot of ways, even on easy difficulties, because it knows what inputs you're going to put in. So it already knows what's going to happen half the time, and if it's the lower difficulties, it just doesn't react basically. So but it was really fun. So I did a lot of that. I've also been started I'm on the biggest cock block in the game in Dark Souls, on level 1, which is Orange Sea and Smo. So soul level 1 you can't level, for those who don't know, but nothing into leveling at all. All you can do is upgrade your weapons and armor, which is a big boost, but not big enough. You just still have base health in the end, which means pretty much everything one-shots you, or close to it, at a certain point. So that's, and then I also started a run where I am just Mildred the Maneater. So I am playing a larger woman wearing no armor with the sack helm. It's just a brown burlap sack. It's barely any defense, and a large butcher's knife and a shield, and that's all I can use. So like that's the cool thing about that game for me though, is like I can, once you've beaten it, you can kind of choose. You could just run through it again, wanted to, but you can also choose to go with weird builds or challenge yourself or do whatever it is. I've also haven't seen maybe more than 40% of the actual story in that game, so look forward to doing that. But that's pretty much all I did. And then I also, we'll just get into it now, I played 8 or 9 hours of Titanfall over this beta weekend so far. So the game is pretty fun. It's pretty damn fun. I will also say this. Compared to the Battlefield betas, this one runs like the greatest game ever made.
It's a very polished beta.
Yeah, it's super polished. It's clearly just a stress test. It's not
That
a
Source engine.
beta. That dude, it runs. I put all the graphics on high. I mean, I have a really good video card, but everything up on as high as it could go, and was getting max of 60. The FPS is currently locked at 60.
No, it's not actually. If you disable VSync in your control panel, your like Catalyst control panel or your NVIDIA control panel,
so you have
and
to
then
do it from
enable VSync in game, and it unlocks your FPS.
Okay. So, but it is technically locked in the game right now, but I heard on release it will not be. I heard that. But I will say this for Titanfall, I have not played a better feeling game movement-wise, possibly ever. Definitely since COD 4 and ET. Like, the movement in that game is flawless. Flawless. Like, the wall running, the jumping, like, everything is on point. I don't see a downside to that side of that game whatsoever. As far as my personal feelings on it, I still don't know if I'm going to buy it, though. Like, I want to hear what other people say. I still don't know if I'm going to buy it because I don't want Dark Souls 2. That's two $60 games same day. So, I mean, shooters aren't really my main thing anymore. But I've had a lot of fun with the 9 hours.
Here's where I am with Titanfall. The game is great. It's exactly what they want it to be. But what they want it to be is not something that I really care for, like, at all. Mm-hmm. Like, the game's fun. I have a shitload of fun when I'm playing it. But when I look at, like, the actual game, if it wasn't the pace that it was, the game would be awful. Like, there's too much focus on killing AI and shit that can never kill you. Like, I just think having the AI there and making the game 6v6 just makes it not enjoyable for me. Like, I want people to be able to kill me, and there's very few. Like, I'll run into an enemy pilot maybe 10 times in a game, if that. The rest of it is just me killing grunts, which is just fucking retarded.
Yeah, I think that is a bit of an issue, because in Domination, which we played 3 or 4 hours straight of Domination last night, we lost one match the whole time. When you go into a point, people just tend to have the mindset in Titanfall of just leave that point because AI will spawn. So who cares? Like, like hardly ever are you just gonna hop onto a point and just see much resistance or someone defending the point. Part of the reason I think we won a bunch was because we were a 6-man squad going into everything, and we were actually leaving people on point. So we were just destroying people. But our opposition teams really didn't leave anyone anywhere. You can take points at any time in domination. I think people think the AI is going to take part of take. You can also set your Titans to guard mode. So you can launch your Titan in and then just leave it on guard mode by a point, and it'll be controlled by AI, but it's still a Titan, and it's still gonna hit a human player.
It's pretty dumb though.
It's pretty dumb. Although I will say this, I said this last night when I was streaming. It never gets like caught on geometry or like stuff like that, which I actually expected to happen. They path pretty well, which I was not expecting. I was like, my Titan, I'm going to go around this building, and it's just going to sit there walking into the side of this building for like 5 minutes while something kills it on follow mode. But no, they don't do that. They actually path around.
Yeah, I mean, I've had fun with it. I've played it for a few hours now, but it's like it's not the second coming of Call of Duty. Like I think the way the game is built, definitely caters really well to like a console shooter audience, because there is a lot of AI. Like even if you're not very good, you can get kills because you're killing AI most of the time. I just think like it's an interesting idea, but the fact that, like John was saying, you only see the enemy players a handful of times in the match, and when you do see them, a lot of times it's in the Titans, and so it's not it's not really a competitive shooter in any way, because so many of the people that you're actually like killing during the match are AI.
In Hardpoint, you see a lot of pilots, but that's like one game type, and even then, it's mostly you're seeing Titans fighting for a point.
Yeah,
it's
Hardpoint
not like
is domination, right?
Yeah, same mode.
So actually, that's one of the things that I really don't like, is the fact that like in Hardpoint, when I'm guarding a point, I can't tell who is a grunt, a specter, or an enemy player right at a glance. And so if you're looking across the map and it's an AI versus an enemy player, like you try and focus on the enemy players, obviously, because the AI is pretty dumb. But so like when you focus on AI, that's when you die to enemy players, and vice versa. Like whenever I'm guarding a point, I want to know that the person who's coming into that point is trying to kill me, right? And like if I see more than one of them, then I know I need to kill them both immediately. Whereas the AI is just like, they just die to your gunshots and just waste ammo. Like at a certain point, it sort of diminishes the experience, because you'll waste a clip on a whole group of AI, and then you'll run and you'll happen to meet a player, and you might die because you're reloading or like you're out of ammo.
Right. But I don't think the lack of it being a competitive shooter is bad, because I also think... I also don't think it's...
I'm just like...
I definitely agree with everything you said, though. On the other hand,
I said this before. Like I think it would be a very cool game if it was like 12v12. Look at how large those maps are.
That's exactly what I want.
Look at how large those maps are. It could support like a 12v12 game type, and that would be fun. Where instead of AI, you just have players, and it's like it would be a lot of fun. The maps are really, really large and spacious. Like the movement could be great. It could be a lot of fun, but like the AI just has no place. I don't understand why it has to be capped at 6v6.
Well, I think it's good for 6v6, because it speeds up the pace of the game, because you're constantly shooting at something. There's constantly something to shoot at. Blah is right now erotically asphyxiating himself. But
Sorry, what?
My chat actually said a bunch last night during it, was like, if there was a game mode or an option without AI, like that would be the one I would play mostly. But I agree with you. If there was 12v12, no AI, and but you'd have to limit Titans to 6.
Yeah,
or something
I think
that.
you'd either have to limit the Titans, or you'd have to increase the timer for a Titan.
Yeah.
Can't have more than 3 Titans per side on the.
I think that would be great. Honestly, like the Titan play is like one of my least favorite parts.
I never get into Titan.
I always
ever.
autopilot every single time.
Like I don't really enjoy the Titan the Titan gameplay that much. I think the shield stuff, the fact that there doesn't seem to be really a whole lot of strategy to it.
Yeah.
I just like the Titans don't really add a whole lot to the gameplay, which is why I really like it seems like a missed opportunity to make this a larger scale game because the movement is really where it shines.
Yes.
The fact that you can get
yes.
across these large maps and like jump up on buildings and wall run, that stuff is really cool and could make just a great shooter experience.
Like I was watching AJ stream it on KBMOD on this channel, and he really had the movement down like a lot better than I do, and it was just a beautiful thing to watch. Like it was insane. He was not touching the ground going from like point C to point A on like maps. It was crazy. Like it was so awesome to see, and so crisp. Like I don't know, it's that movement. I said this during my stream. I was like, I think they saw Brink and they were like, that movement thing's pretty cool, but that game
Let's
is
not
terrible.
make it shit.
Yeah,
Brink,
like
Brink, they basically, if they would have just expanded on the idea of Brink, but have like really three-dimensional levels, like Brink didn't, that's where Titanfall really shines, is the fact that there are buildings that look, they're really tall and stuff, but you can jump up on everything. You can get to all of these spots on the map, but it's a large three-dimensional space. There's a lot of like vertical room to move.
Yeah, but I mean, like completely, totally honestly, I played it for 8 or 9 hours, and I wasn't ever not having fun. Like I was always having fun. The main flaw that I saw from my perspective is that shotgun is really overpowered. They need to somehow, whether it's nerf the range of the damage. Even when I would put it on, you can just hip fire the shotgun and hit people from like 30, 40 yards and nearly kill them in one shot, or get them in one shot if you hit them in the head, which is kind of luck based at that range. But if you run into like a B point inside a building on the apartment map and you just start firing your shotgun, you will get kills. Like it doesn't matter. I was blinded by grenades. It didn't matter. Like that thing needs a small nerf. But like as far as balance and all that kind of stuff, I think if you're a fan of shooters who doesn't really care if the game is like has a super high difficulty curve, like you should buy Titanfall. You really, really should, because it's a better option.
You should buy it if you have friends that are going to buy it too. I think it's going to be a game that is fun to play with a few friends and like basically just pub against other people.
Yeah,
I don't think it's any more than that. Like I think it's an okay game. I think the reason that it's getting a lot of positive praise right now is because one, it's a pretty polished beta. Like it actually runs well. It seems like actually a pretty decent representation of the game in its final form.
Mm-hmm.
And the movement and everything is fluid. Like you were saying with the Battlefield beta, like that was not like a good representation of what you get in a game. I feel like Titanfall is. The movement is cool, but like now that I've played it, I'm not sold on the core concept of the game, which is so based around the AI and stuff that like, I've had fun with it, but it's like I don't know that I'd pay $60 for it.
Okay, so we'll just get onto that right now. We've said a good chunk about the game, so you wouldn't pay $60 right now. John, would you pay $60 for this game when it comes out?
Probably not. No.
Blah
I already paid $60 for it. So.
Nick Fenton pre-ordered it. Blah has
even though I have
I
lots of complaints about the game, but I can say one of the biggest positives for it is the map design seems really, really good, considering you have to build it for the infantry people and the Titans at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's a good balance there, like for me at least, where it doesn't, like in the Titans, even though I don't get it, it doesn't seem too small or too big, and like you can get around the map really quickly with the movement stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Blah,
Don't get me wrong, I had fun playing it. I just
Yeah.
won't continue to have fun for very long, so it's not worth buying.
APL
I do
didn't
think
play it
the
either,
lack of competitive stuff is actually going to hurt it personally.
like
I don't think
know.
I don't think it will last very long.
I think it'll take away from the longevity because people are going to slowly lose interest with playing in games that are essentially filled with bots. Like it's fun. That's why it's fun for the first few days because it's still very new and you're trying out new weapons and all of that. But that is going to get old. And those, when it no longer becomes you against the other team, it's really more you against like you and a co-op team farming bots and like occasionally running into other players, that slowly I think loses its luster.
I also learned a really valuable lesson. Well, I mean, I already kind of knew the lesson, but now, from now on, I'm taking massive, gigantic grains of salt with all of the opinions that YouTubers ever say about games, because they have become
It's been so hyped.
a massive euphoria. They are euphoric. Like
In this
Titanfall
moment.
is their Martin Luther King moment. Like,
No,
if
the hype
if
train for
can't-
this game.
If you can't admit that there are flaws in the game, then I feel like in any game,
You're a bullshitter.
yeah, you're a bullshitter
This-
basically.
The hype train for this game, and this is hurting the game, I think, in our discussion as well as at launch a little bit, at least the people that are into gaming or do things like stream on Twitch or have a gaming podcast. Like, the hype train has ruined this game in some ways, because like, how can
Titanfall
it?
is to video games how Daft Punk is to music.
How can this ever live up? For me, I would pay for this game, I think, at this point. But there's another game coming out that day, and I don't know if I can drop $120.
I think what speaks volumes about the kind of game this is that I tweeted there's no way Titanfall can live up to the hype that people are generating about it right now, and I got a bunch of tweets saying, but it does, but it does.
That's why
Then
I
2
I
days
compared it to
later,
Daft Punk.
everybody's like not really feeling it anymore. It's
That's why
like everybody's
they are
bored of it.
It's the
2
Daft
days.
Punk of video games, because
I think
people
it's
were
a-
so mad at RAM, and people are just
Well, it's a game
slowly
that
burning
plays
up.
really well for the first hour. You look at it when it's brand new, it's a game that looks really cool. My first match was really cool because you're like, oh, there's this AI, and like I'm part of this larger battle. But then as you play more and more and you dig in and you're like, oh, wow, this AI is pretty dumb. And like I'm not, I look at my scoreboard at the end of the match and I have 4 kills on pilots. You're looking at that, and slowly you realize that like it's a game that's really neat on the surface. I don't think there's a whole lot of substance once you actually get into it. The substance is only the Titan battles, because those are always player controlled for the most part. So like the way I would like to see this game, if I was Respawn and I was involved in this process of making it, I would have made it, like up to 12v12 and have the Titans be like way more powerful, but have them be way rarer to see. Have the Titans be like sort of a game-changing thing, where like 1 or 2 people in the entire match on your team would get a Titan, and people have to actually really focus on killing it.
Which was
I think-
essentially hard suits from BLR.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Hardsuit and BLR
Was
well,
very well balanced.
It was very well balanced. A bad player in it was killed almost immediately. A good player could turn a game around completely, or a good team surrounding that Hardsuit could turn it around completely. Especially because you could heal it and do all kinds of things. In this game, it's just like, oh, there's Titans, and there's 6 of them, and they're everywhere. And they're not really that hard to kill either. They're just not. You can rodeo, which is actually super cool. Jump on the back of them and kill them. But I just think, I just can't bring myself thinking about, for me personally, as someone whose shooters aren't my main thing. Although I will say this, if you're into Call of Duty, this is much better than the recent Call of Duties. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Yes.
But I've got Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls coming out 2 weeks after this game. I got
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 the same day, and then Titanfall. So that's $160 worth of games, all 3 of which I really want. And right now, the one for me that would be left out is probably Titanfall, because I just want to play those other ones more. But I will say this, I mean, if you're... the other thing about Titanfall, I want to bring this up because I want to commend Respawn a little bit for the lukewarmness we've given them so far. There's no extra monetary shit in this game, and there's no DLC planned.
I like to hear that.
So, I mean, in a way, like, good on you. Like, you managed to make... Actually, Call of Duty managed to make EA so desperate that they would publish your game without any plans for additional monetary content. Like,
It's big for them.
yeah. So,
You know what I could say about the bots in Titanfall? That they do really cool shit is when it's like the weird like little cinematic kind of stuff that the bots do. Like they'll be
Yeah.
dragging like the other bots' bodies like indoors or like having like a knife battle in a building or something.
when you punch,
That's
have you
pretty
punched
cool.
another Titan enough to rip a dude out? Because that is
Yeah,
cool
and then you
as
throw
shit.
them.
Yeah.
I said it on Twitter a couple days ago, and it was that the game feels it's based a lot around moments, and I don't know if I feel like those moments are gonna wear down real quick.
It has that BF4 factor. At least it did for me. As in, like, in BF4, at any time, something completely ridiculous can happen. And that can definitely happen in Titanfall. But, I mean, I definitely believe that this game should, unless they're just interested in making money, which is totally the case, should push the Call of Duty franchise somewhere. It should, because it's a lot better. It's a lot better than Call of Duty at this. Like, if
In
you're-
my head though, like I mean, it is very different than Call of Duty, and yeah, it probably will push them a little bit,
But it's still got
not,
that-
It's not drastically different than
No,
Call of
no,
Duty.
it's got
like
that-
I'm a little frustrated because it's like, all right, guys, we're done making Call of Duty. Fucking the guys that made Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4. I mean, and then they
Well,
took not a whole lot of
the
risks.
shooting, the crispness of the movement, all that stuff that people like about COD, like, it's not hard to shoot people and kill them in this game. Like, no gun is, like, really hard to use. Like, if you're used to COD, you can play Titanfall, and you'll be really satisfied with it, except it's much better in every way. I've played Ghosts, I've played BF4, I've played Titanfall. Like, one of these really sucks. The other two are pretty good. Like, I don't know. I guess my final word, though, is definitely, like, if you like shooters and you like them like COD, like smaller quote-unquote games, like you don't like the 64-player Battlefield vehicle stuff, you should buy Titanfall.
The pace of
But-
Titanfall is fucking great.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It plays.
The
It's
maps
almost as
flow
fast as
really
Unreal
well.
Tournament.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like I don't feel well since you can get around the map so quickly too. Like you can get to the action so fast. I mean, I don't know. There's always something happening.
There's always something happening. Right?
Well, the game's fucking irrelevant because instead of playing Titanfall, I won the Booty Bay fishing contest today and got my Dread Pirate ring, so get mad.
that is impressive. That is
Thank you.
impressive.
Finally
Thank you.
won it.
Yeah, took me, I think, 4 tries. Took me a month.
But
I think that hopefully one thing maybe we'll see come out of this is that people realize that we want like fast shooters. That one thing I do like about Titanfall is that there's no meter for sprint. Like you can always be moving quickly. You can always double jump. There are no hindrances. Like it's just the movement is free, right? All of the things that you can do with the movement, you can just do them constantly, and there's nothing artificial stopping you from like moving around the map quickly or jumping like crazy. All that stuff, I feel like I don't like that artificial stuff. Just give us the tools to move around and then make a good shooter around that.
yeah. But that is our thoughts on Titanfall. Hopefully, Blah and APL check it out this week. You definitely should still check it out. Like,
I will. I
You
will.
definitely
Definitely
should check it out.
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Can I also say
Scott,
that
I think you'll actually really like it. I
I'm
think
glad
you'll-
Scott's alive.
Yeah,
I am
gonna-
sorry. I just got off the phone. Yep. But
great
I'm-
podcast member.
yeah, I liked
awesome.
when I played
I
it.
just want to say we've created some salt on the social medias.
Oh yeah, dude, it's really
What?
been
What's happening?
really
I'm
been.
I'm not
I'm mad
saying
about your
I'm not
board
being
gamers.
specific, but there is some
Serious.
sodium chloride floating around.
Yeah, all over.
Can I just say I also played the pho game today, where I went and got some delicious
Some-
Vietnamese pho, and it's
some
so
pho.
fucking good.
Some
That
good
was
old pho.
It's fucking good. It's literally.
There's an
Oh, the
article. I
puns.
wish I could find it, but it's pho restaurants that are all like pun
yeah, all
names.
pho puns.
Like
yeah.
fucking awesome.
I'm ready for Brink 2. God damn it.
The funny thing is, I'm not joking. Like they could, if they made Brink 2 and learned from their mistakes, it could be a good game.
That's
it could
true.
be. Instead, they should just fucking release Dirty Bomb already or
By
Extraction.
the way, for those that don't know, this is
Like-
only the first in a series of already planned Titanfall games. So, like, they're going to iterate on this. And in fact, this is the only one exclusive to Xbox and PC. So PS4 people will get Titanfall 2 when all that comes out. But yeah, that is our thoughts on Titanfall. One more note before we head into a break and then the news. Our new build guides came out this week. You should go check those out. KBMOD.com. We had, I mean, they were sort of hard
RAM
to do.
prices
RAM is
are going
ridiculous.
nuts.
They're fucking retarded.
It's
RAM
so
keeps
dumb.
going up.
In one build, we had to. Well, I think we had to. Oh no, we didn't end up doing it. At one point, we were getting 2 8 gig or 2 4 gig sticks, I think, of the same thing, but it was cheaper to get just the single 4 gig stick than it was to get a kit, like per
The RAM
stick.
prices right now
Like,
just
it was-
make no sense.
No, it didn't make any sense at all. So, I mean, we had a really hard time. I put in like 5 or 6 different RAM things in like some of these builds, and Brandon was like, "No, dude, that's like 1033 RAM." I'm like, "Oh shit, this isn't 2007 anymore. we gotta get better RAM than that in there."
Yeah, we had to jigger some stuff around to make sure we're at least putting in 1600 speed RAM.
Yeah, but we did make one somewhat big switch. Bob and Hex did the ones last month, and they were good. But we did switch from SLI away from SLI in the $1,800 builds, and we went with a 780 Ti.
That's
ACX
a crazy
cooler.
780 too.
Yeah, it's insane.
Overclocked, ACX cooler. Like that's a beast.
If you have $700, that's probably the card you should buy right there. It is a monster. But yeah, it was. In fact, we even went over by 46 cents on the 1300 because so frustrated with prices. Like it was really rough. Don't upgrade your RAM right now. Wait till they rebuild that fucking factory or whatever they got to do. Like
It's a problem. Like I was at Fry's today, and like they're selling their shit for $200 for 8 gigs.
I know
It's retarded.
Like the RAM, the sniper, G-Skull sniper, which I recommend heavily, which I got $30 for 8 gigs on a Black Friday sale, like in 2012. The same exact RAM is now $90 for 8 gigs. Like it's it's unbelievable. So it kind of sucks. But hopefully RAM comes back down. Hard drives have kind of settled after all the flooding and stuff with those. So hopefully it doesn't take 3 years. Hopefully DDR4 just comes out. Fuck it. But yeah, so the build guys are out. Go check those out, KBMOD.com. We will have our keyboard review for the Corsair K70 Vengeance keyboard out this week as well. Spoiler, it's quite good. But we're going to take a 2-minute commercial break, guys. We're going to head into a little bit of news. Back. And thank you to all our subscribers who don't have to see these commercials.
They can see me walk up to take a piss. See, bitches.
Damn! By the way, our subscriber contest winners this month each got a copy of Wolf Among Us. Enjoy that. Because it's really
Heard
fucking good.
things.
I actually forgot to talk about that in games we play. I played episode 2. Really short, though. Probably the shortest Telltale episode of a game that I have ever been involved in.
Really?
Yeah, which was
That's
kind
surprising.
of shitty. I just deleted something because someone else was editing.
Correct.
I almost gave up my secret to getting high scores in Titanfall, but then I decided I'm not going to say it because it's my shit.
Mike was destroying. Like, Mike, fucking Nuketown Noob, that guy was destroying in Titanfall. It was.
You gotta give Mike credit for being good at a game.
If you
I
want,
know.
I'll just say, if you want to get
Mike would be good at a casual game.
a lot of points, if you want to get a lot of points in Titanfall, just work your way around to wherever the bots are spawning and farm. There you go.
No, Mike was getting like 20 pilot kills every game, which is
The
not
weird thing
easy.
for me with Titanfall is I enjoyed playing TDM more than I did Domination.
Yeah.
Which is weird because that is normally not the case with me.
Well, actually, I forgot to mention that. Now you remind me. Attrition mode, TDM, is a mode that I never play ever. In like COD, I never pick TDM. Partially because the spawns are so fucking terrible usually in COD games for TDM, because it doesn't know where to put people when there's constant movement across the map. Jesus God, Scott.
Just want to really highlight that we're going to
Yeah.
talk about that.
What, do you not want to talk about it?
No, I do.
Okay.
No, I do want to talk about how fucked we are.
Probably.
But and it's in Comic Sans now, so now we're really not.
Good
gonna
lord, we're really fucked.
But TDM in that game doesn't even feel like TDM, which is like fine with me actually. So I'm okay with it.
You kind of get your own personal objectives, which I mean,
My thing, like,
you got to kill the
TDM's
Titans.
fun because it's fast. It's just like you're constantly moving and you're constantly killing things. So like the game is fun, but it's not going to remain fun for me.
I know I wasn't here for most of the Titanfall discussion, but did anyone bring up the fact that I talked about this last week? But like the Half-Life on stuff being cool and fun is like, as it progresses,
Real
I don't care
short
what
now.
comes out. It's real short.
Half-Life.
Like, Half-Life. Yeah. Well, no, that'll be super nice. Don't worry.
I can't diction.
But
all right, 1 second.
But I just think it's like a natural, like think about when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, right? Like super hyped, and it lived up to the hype. It was a really great game, still is a great game, but it's still it fizzled out pretty quick, and that's a fucking like technical masterpiece. Like that games like that come along every, I don't know, 5 or 10 years maybe. 10 years,
game.
probably.
First game in a long time to actually live up to the hype.
Totally, and I'm saying even then, it's like it's kind of fizzled out. Like people like had their time with it, and they're
Yeah,
like, you know,
I mean,
it's over. So to expect Titanfall and
Should
any
all
game to come out, it's like just fucking
Should
enjoy it
all
for what it is.
approach
Why?
it from a realistic standpoint?
Yeah. It's like
Well,
You weren't here
GTA
for it, but I said Titanfall is like Daft Punk's recent album.
unless Titanfall
It's
comes
being
with
hyped
a
as shit.
nice busty blonde 5'4" blonde who blows me every time I put the load the game up from my Origin library, then I'm probably not gonna be like insane like loving it as much as like people think I should. I don't know.
Why's it gotta be a blonde?
I'm just into blondes right now.
That's offensive to Italians and Jews.
Could be
and,
a
like
brunette,
everybody
too.
else.
My wife spawned
Fucked
some.
up. Like
Yeah, so
Swedes are the only one happy with that statement.
But anyway, no, I'm exaggerating, but I do think it's like the hype train and stuff that we try to get. Like we expect things to be hot and awesome and blow our minds for a really long time, and I just don't think.
My
That's-
first
that's
game
the
of Titanfall did blow my mind.
Apparently, my
Truth.
KD is 5.5.
I think what Nick was
Impactful.
saying about it being around moments
Against
I
players
think-
or against everybody? Go ahead.
I think that's
That
I
will
think that's
just general
exactly right.
KD. Yeah, it's
think that's exactly
it's
right.
got that cinematic feel because they're combining the single quote unquote campaign into the multiplayer. So I guess
Well,
it's
I
fine that
played,
they're
like-
going for the cinematic thing, but
I played like 50 games, and the end of it, I'm still fucking excited to try to get to the extraction. Like I'm still fucking pumped about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I actually
still,
don't get why that exists, but it's
I don't
there.
know. I like it because whenever I do it, I feel like a badass from extra like 250 experience.
I don't think I've ever gotten away in the escape thing ever.
But
I usually just walk around. I'm like, yeah, whatever, guys. I'm already max level. I don't need this.
so we start with horrible news here in the here in the news section. So this has not been approved. I want to stress that by the DOJ or the FCC. Comcast has bought Time
Fuck.
Warner.
They have offered to buy Time Warner.
Well, I mean, Time Warner's pretty down with it. But like, we're just kind of waiting on the FCC now.
It'll get shot down.
I hope it does. T-Mobile and Sprint just got shot down as a merger, which I'm glad for because I like my T-Mobile how it is. I don't want Sprint.
Who was
involved
buying
in that
who?
shit.
T-Mobile was buying Sprint or vice versa?
Sprint was buying T-Mobile, but
Oh,
it would have
God.
been
That would've
T-Mobile's policies. So basically, it was T-Mobile. Sprint has more money overall than T-Mobile, but it would have been basically T-Mobile getting more coverage. Is what it would have come down.
No, it wouldn't have because it's Sprint. You fucking
Well,
no.
well.
I know. I know. Sprint's just really bad. At least
Yeah,
in
it is terrible.
LA,
It's fucking
but
awful. I had great service in LA.
T-Mobile, yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta switch. But anyway.
T-Mobile's great, but anyway, Comcast.
How
would
sure are we
then-
this is going to be shot down? Is everyone like, yeah?
Man. Well,
I'm
okay.
praying.
So
Not
there's.
sure
I know
because-
some House
because
of.
they
I just watched.
technically
Yeah,
they
I just watched-
technically don't compete, which is what they will argue.
Yeah.
They have like a gentleman's agreement not to intrude on each other's territory.
Yeah.
So that's surely what they will try and sell. But hopefully
I know some
we
House
can
of Cards
just
shit's gonna go down because I just finished watching House of Cards and all the back deals. That's all I see now. This is someone's gonna blow someone.
Yeah,
who's
Frank
fake.
Underwood is out there fucking on that Time Warner grind.
Exactly, and then
So-
China's gonna have to
Up
funnel
everything.
money.
So
in.
here's two very big details. First one is there is a regulation within the FCC, I believe it's from the FCC, that no one cable provider can hold more than 30% of cable subscribers. I believe it's something like that. So Comcast has already agreed to transfer like something like 11 million customers to like other local cable services or something. To shed those when they do this merger so they stay under that 30% mark. That tells you how many fucking people would be.
I
It
think
would
that
be,
applies to cable TV, not broadband.
yeah, cable TV. So that part of it
which
would
means
happen.
nothing.
Comcast also has an agreement in effect till 2018 where they will follow net neutrality regardless of what the law is until 2018. But that would have been in effect anyway for Comcast, but that is a thing. The bad part of this is the largest broadband provider now by a large margin. Fios, awesome, not in very many places in the grand scheme. Other companies like Charter, Google Fiber, and a few other local cable providers, like we have Armstrong north of Pittsburgh, which sucks ass, by the way. But there's other little ones, but it's basically if I had to pull a number out of my head, they have to have more than 50% cables, like cables.
I don't think it's over 50, but it's
gotta be close, dude.
It's gonna be.
It's
It's gonna
close.
be. It's gonna
think
be higher
it's-
than 30.
I think it's like
definitely.
47,
Yeah,
something like that.
it's got to be close.
They would
because-
have unprecedented bargaining power basically against like every content provider, basically every person, every company they interact with, they would have power over them.
So this is like, I mean, the pessimist in me says this is probably gonna happen. Like, I think it's probably gonna happen. They're gonna find a way.
Son.
This sucks for broadband all over the country. Comcast isn't bad, but it's not great. It's better than Time Warner, to be completely brutally
I
honest.
just got my Time Warner cooperating again, and then I get this news. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, your infrastructure won't change very much. Things like Fios, although Verizon has already said they are no longer going to roll out fiber. We talk about these things in this podcast because we're fucking streaming service. You have to watch it over your internet, and you play games on the internet, and it's important. Fios is no longer rolling out any new fiber. They have throttled themselves basically into the whatever subscriber base they have in the areas where they already have fiber. They're not rolling out new fiber for Fios. Basically, the only hope most of you have right now to get real good internet at some point is to get Google Fiber. And who knows?
Which I think is
Yeah,
why
we ain't
Comcast
never
said
getting
they
that
need
in
to
Los
buy
Angeles.
Time Warner.
Yeah,
They said they need to buy them because
That
of like
ludicrous.
threats in the market, like Google Fiber.
Go
when I
fuck
read
yourself,
that, I was
Comcast.
like, "Are you kidding?"
Google Fiber's in 2 cities. 2. That's all it's in right now. It's in Austin and Kansas City, and that's it. And Comcast is using this argument that Google Fiber is this huge threat already when it's in 2 cities.
It would take so long to be in LA because of the shitty ass infrastructure.
It's gonna take forever to be in places like LA. It could come to Pittsburgh pretty soon. Cool. They're really trying to lobby Google.
Yeah, but
But-
the
Best thing that
FCC
could
won't let
happen-
me.
Seattle and Provo are next for sure.
The best thing that could happen here would be that they approve the merger and then say, "Okay, yeah, but actually we're going to reclassify broadband as common carriers, so get destroyed."
Yes, that would be the best case scenario. We will see what happens. I doubt we hear a ruling on this anytime.
This is going to be
Soon.
like a year-long adventure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back to my Yahoo DSL days when I was playing Counter Strike professionally. Not really professionally. That was the best.
Solid.
I'm like Yahoo DSL.
but moving on from horrible news to weird/awesome news. Have you guys seen this Twitch plays Pokemon shit? It's ruining chat right now. But it's
Oh yeah.
it's ruining chat right now. That's pretty crazy. What is it? 50,000 concurrents right now, or something like that. Jesus.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Are they in the same spot they were like yesterday? Because they were in the same spot for like 12 hours. Did not get through.
They've been making some decent progress, though.
They have. There are some parts in the game that I am amazed they got through. Fucking amazed. Because like just for example, the third gym, in order to even get to the third gym boss, he has like, I want to say probably around 18 trash cans just sitting in his gym, and you have to find 3 random switches that are in the trash cans, and if you fuck up the order that you're supposed to find the switches in, if you're looking for, you have to just click 3 random trash cans and find switches at the bottom of them. And then if you this doesn't make any sense, but if you fail to click all 3 switches in a row, they reset and you have to try again. And they also reset if you leave the gym. So I have no idea how they did that. No idea.
So I didn't understand that GIF. I think that was one of the top posts on r/gaming, and I didn't really understand it, and now I understand it.
It's actually incredible. That
You know why it sucks? Because they don't have good spam. They don't have good like
Good copy
crypt
pasta.
spams.
it's hard to get.
All they
copy
say
pasta
is
in there.
fucking up, down, left, right.
I wonder
start,
why.
A, B. No, it's
Why
not.
they
Even, there's
say
no
that?
talking about Nazi mods, no pepperinos, no Paparian, no orange juice, no Hapu.
But
Doesn't matter.
one thing that I do like about the chat is whenever they actually accomplish something, in the rare event that they accomplish something, the chat just goes nuts because there's so many people watching. Should we probably break it down for the few people who don't know what this is? Because this only emerged.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
should read the news.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you should just read the news. But what it is some genius has rigged up a stream of Pokemon Red, the original Pokemon game, one of the 2 original Pokemon games, that automatically scans Twitch chat for inputs. So you'll just see a huge amount of spam. And this is like, I think we said 50,000 concurrent. I don't know how much it actually is right now. Last I was watching, it was 15,000, which is still a lot. People just spamming either up, down, left, right, B, A, or start. And that's it. Those are the only things you can hit. Which are, to be fair, the only buttons that are available, aside from select, which doesn't do anything, I think, on the Game Boy. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's running an emulator, something that's reading the chat and taking these inputs.
Pretty
So
impressive,
you have
actually.
50,000 people fighting for control over this character on an insane amount of delay because of the like 45-second or whatever Twitch delay, and then on top of that, whatever delay this program he's running it all through is adding. So it's just complete chaos, and it's almost like watching a retarded robot trying to figure it out. It's like watching a dog try to fly a helicopter. Somehow they past like the 4th gym, I think, or up to the 4th gym. They're around there somewhere. They're never gonna beat. They're never gonna get to a part where you're actually timed based on how many. There's no timers available in Pokemon in the early ones, so it's actually step counters. But you're on a timed basis where you have to PC in order to progress in the game. They're never gonna do that. That's gonna be the breaking point. That's when either somebody's gonna intervene or they're gonna have to give up because they'll be on that for months.
So go check that out. Go put your inputs in.
That is helpful description because I didn't read exactly what it was, and I thought for a while when I would go there, I didn't realize it was reading every single input. I thought that it was waiting somehow, like all the whatever in like a certain amount of like, I don't know, 3-second span. If there was enough votes for like to move up, it was, you know what I mean? It would do that. That's even
No,
more.
but it's just it doesn't take every input because it's getting inputs so fast that only certain ones get through.
Yeah,
that is absolutely
they
incredible that they're even remote. How the
Yeah.
fuck?
They also did have to throttle whoever's running. He had to throttle the start button inputs because start holds up the game, and he ended up having to throttle how many start inputs it can accept in
Everyone
a
was
certain
trolling
time.
with starts.
Yeah, everyone was being scumbags,
That's
just pressing
crazy.
start over and over and freezing the game up.
That's part of the social experience, though.
It
seeing
is,
how
but-
many people will troll.
Yep.
There's so many trolls there too. There's so many people who are obviously pretty much anybody who ever hits start when you don't need to use like an HM or something is trolling. But I personally really like some of the memes that have come out of it. They keep accidentally using the Helix fossil, which you can't use until later in the game to redeem for a Pokemon. And they keep trying to throw it away, so a meme has arisen of toss the Helix fossil. Where
Yeah.
everyone just wants to get rid of it, but it can't be thrown away, is the thing. And also, saving the game. Every time they accidentally save the game, the entire chat just congratulates each other on having saved the game. It's great.
It's
It's
genius.
really-
It is genius.
It is.
Much like Salty Bet, which has died down, but both are
It's very similar.
probably the most genius things that I've seen on Twitch, really.
It's practically automated. So.
Yeah. So a couple quick hardware notes. Broadwell, the next Intel processor, has been delayed until Q4 of 2014. Normally they would come out in late spring here. So if you were holding off on buying, you may as well get Haswell or Ivy Bridge at this point. You'll be perfectly fine for a gaming machine. No need to wait or sit on the fence for that. It'll be a new chipset, but I don't see any reason to wait until the end of the year, especially if you're on an old machine. There's that, and then this is actually really good news, especially for budget conscious gamers. The R7 265 has come out, new AMD card. This thing is about $140, $150 depending on the model you get. It can play BF4 1080p on high at 60 FPS. So for $140, $150 on your GPU, if you're a little budget strapped, definitely check out the R7 265. Anintech's review covered the Sapphire and Asus versions of it, but that is really good value. I mean, it just straight up is. And
There's a lot of value at the low end of that
yeah.
like 260 line.
Yeah, it's the 265 is essentially a 760 for $75 less. Like, that's really good. So if you're sitting on an older card, definitely look at the 265. Like I said, just came out, so you may check Amazon. This next thing I wanted to highlight, this CS:GO documentary came out about Devilwalk. Was on Fnatic. They ended up winning, of course, DreamHack, the biggest CS:GO tournament last year. It is really awesome. It's about 21 minutes long. We'll put a link to it in the podcast post. Someone can throw it in the chat if they want. But
If I may say, Brandon and I have both discussed this as well, but for such a simple name that sounds like it would, that like you think would be really stupid, Devilwalk is a badass alias.
it is a badass
saying.
alias.
I'm just saying,
I'm
it's
actually
incredible.
with you on this. I was like, that could have been cheesy, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty
Yeah, it's
well
like
done.
good.
No MLK Bulldog.
It's no MLK Bulldog, obviously.
Sorry.
Well,
Like,
you know.
Brandon and I we talked about it at work once. You're like, this is the dumbest fucking name, but it's so awesome for some reason. I can't really
Right.
figure out why.
Yeah, but it's definitely good. Check it out. I thought it was. A couple other quick notes as kind of got long on the Titanfall stuff. Real Mist, which is a fully modern update done by the dudes who made Mist, game from like 1992, is on Steam now. And if you haven't played Mist, and you kind of want to get to the roots of PC gaming a little bit, definitely go get it. I think it's about $10, if that. But it's actually
$18.
a really difficult puzzle game as well in there. But you should definitely go check it out. The atmosphere in that game, unbelievable. It's just still pictures. What they achieve is pretty good. So go check that out. And then this last one, because golf games are fucking fun. I don't care what anyone says, especially in a group with friends. The Golf Club is coming to Steam Early Access, which is like a golf sim. But I will definitely be checking this out and definitely be getting it, even when it goes on Early Access. Golf games are super fun. We used to play a drinking game in college while playing PlayStation Golf, where highest score had to drink their score. So that always ended.
Because that's going to go well.
Yeah, John played that with us, actually, a few times.
I don't remember.
I don't remember really either. But yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out. So if you're missing golf games because they're only on console, there you go. And new releases for this week, there are many. Monday we've got Journal, which is like an indie kind of Gone Home style deal. It comes out Monday, as well as C-Rush, C-Rush Crush, I guess you could also call it. It's a racing game. But the interesting ones start on Tuesday. Ikaruga, which is a shmup.
Tough as nails shmup. It's fucking excellent.
Yeah, it's a really good
Great
game,
game.
actually. If you like Jamestown, or you ever saw me or anyone else play Jamestown, get this game. NASCAR 2014 comes out Tuesday.
Can't wait.
I'm confused about this. What was the game that came out a few months ago that was NASCAR?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a NASCAR game that came out a few months ago?
I don't
There-
think so.
Boogity
Unless-
Boogity Boogity 2000.
Yeah, that game. You played it.
Yeah, NASCAR 2013.
Didn't
That's what I played.
It must have been
Play
longer
that-
ago than we're thinking because it feels
Did you
really
not
recent.
play
to
that
me.
when it came out? or-
No, not when it came out. at
Oh,
all.
okay. Because I remember when you played that like a few months ago, and I'm like, damn, there's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
a fucking
no.
new NASCAR game. I was so confused. It's like, what the fuck?
And also, Tuesday, Banished comes out, which is going to be early access, but I've heard this game is really good. Like, people who like Dark Souls and Isaac have been like, get Banished, man, check this game out. I haven't checked it out at all. But that amount of hype behind it looks like it could be good. So, Banished comes out Tuesday. Wednesday has a couple more interesting games, actually. Strider, the new remake of the classic NES Strider, done by the dudes who did Killer Instinct, the new Killer Instinct, Double Helix, recently bought by Amazon as well. That's the new Strider comes out. It's a platformer, duh, because that's what Strider games are.
Platformer,
You'll want
beat
to
'em
check
up.
it out. It looks like it's really fast paced. Giant Bomb had some positive things to say about the pre-release copies. Also, 99 Levels to Hell, which I thought was already out. Maybe I just played it at PAX and it finally is out. Is also it's like a Spelunky type game. But Friday holds the true
That's the
gems.
day.
The true gems for this week in new games. First of all, in this game, I think we can honestly say Titanfall pales in comparison to Go Nippon, my first trip to Japan, a Japan trip simulator, full of anime.
Oh. Hopefully hentai as well.
Yes,
Nope.
that and
Chock
actually,
full of
you
it.
see how I wrote the title in the doc, Rose? That is how the title is formatted on Steam.
With the asterisk or the
Yes,
not
with the
asterisk,
tildes. Yes.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yes,
Okay.
it didn't just do that.
That is a
That's-
really kawaii title when it's got the tildes.
Yeah.
Kauai, I believe. Is the word. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Thanks.
Also, Beat Blasters 3 comes out. We'll just forget about this one because the next game here is clearly Game of the Year waiting to happen. We're playing this on Friday on the KBMOD stream.
God.
Rambo, the video game,
Good
comes
Lord.
out
This is-
Friday.
Who is that game made by?
Tenron, something. A developer
Yeah,
I've
when
never
was-
heard of, but they got
was
the
the-
Rambo license
I
somehow.
could have sworn
When was the
somebody
last
else
time
was
there was
making
a Rambo, movie?
game.
Like 2006 or something?
I mean, maybe.
2008?
But
Is Senpai in it, and will he notice me?
yes, he will notice you.
That depends on how
Absolutely.
good at the game you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe you could. Maybe there's DLC.
All right, let me read you a few
Noticed.
quotes here from Rambo, the video game.
Oh God.
Puts the player in John Rambo's combat boots and takes them on an action-packed journey through the iconic combat sequences and story arcs of First
God.
Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Rambo 3. So you will cover the whole trilogy in this video game. Locked and loaded with the trademark Rambo arsenal of weapons, you battle through the boss showdowns and takedowns from the films. Everything from Rambo's
That
evading
says-
the police in First Blood
Good Lord.
to his single explosive bow strike on Lieutenant Tay in Rambo First Blood Part 2. I didn't know that guy had a name. And onto his shredding Russian helicopters with the DSHK 12.7mm heavy machine gun in Rambo 3. Also,
Just say, outside of the first Rambo, the rest of the Rambos did nothing for me whatsoever.
Rambo 2
Because they were just hyper violent.
Rambo 1's actually a good movie.
Yeah,
First
it is
one.
actually a legitimately good movie. The other two
Yeah.
are dumb action titles. But I just want to know, how is Rambo 1 going to be any fun to play through, considering he killed one dude,
Yeah.
and it was kind of by accident.
Yeah, he was
In Rambo
not
1.
happy about it either.
Yeah,
Um,
it fucked them up.
yeah.
Well, the gameplay
Really
for
confident
the
this is
first
about to
Rambo
become a
movie
cult
is like
classic.
L.A. Noir.
This, I don't know if this will be as bad as I think this is an early contender for worst game of the year. early contender.
You may be
Also,
right.
I love that on Steam it has partial controller support. What does that even mean?
Partial.
What
Like
does
you can
that
move
even
with the
mean?
thumbsticks, but you still have to hit keys.
Like your
I just-
controller has palsy and you can only use the right side of your controller.
yeah. Like you
Um,
literally
Well,
have suffered
partial
a
movement.
stroke.
Partial.
So here's some other things. No health packs or recharging health bar. Kill to heal with Wrath mode.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what
The Rambo's a
that means.
vampire?
He's
A
sparkly.
wrathful vampire?
Unlock John Rambo's full warrior and score attack potential with skill and perk systems.
I think if you ever have to include the actual phrase "the video game" in the title of a game,
You, have
you
already
should
failed.
reevaluate it.
Nah, that shit gets thrown on every movie.
Also,
game
there's
now.
no
They're
price.
multiplayer
There's
or
no
what?
price yet for this game. No multiplayer.
Johnson
There's no
got
price yet
competitive.
either. Local co-op though. You can have a buddy come over
Fuck.
and play
Good
Rambo
Lord.
with you.
Yo, Scott.
No. Oh.
And then at the very end of the description, yes, this is the ultimate Rambo experience. There's no price yet.
Because
I don't
the
care.
movie
This
is-
could be
the
$100.
movies aren't
It's
the
going
ultimate
in.
Rambo experience.
It is literally, the title literally is Rambo, registered symbol, the video game in all caps.
But that shit gets done for every movie game.
No, it doesn't. That is
Well, not every
that
movie
is
game.
the
A lot
official
of
title of the game.
no. A lot of movie games get the video game attached to them.
Oh,
That's
really?
true.
Oh, tell me one.
They kind of do.
They do.
R.I.P.D. the video game. That was a bad example. That game's shit. That movie was shit too.
Oh yeah, that looked like fucking garbage. I never saw it. It looked really bad. I could not stop seeing ads for that fast enough.
Okay, so my advice of never calling something the video game holds up.
Yeah, it still does.
Yep,
actually.
So far,
I mean,
yeah.
it still looks like ass, but
All right. Well, on that note, tune in Friday for Rambo the video game here on twitch.tv/KBMOD. You will not be disappointed.
I'll be there for that one.
All right.
Chat.
We're going to take a minute commercial break here and then head into the viewer questions. We'll be right back. Oh, I'm well aware, Brandon. I'm well aware of that. Chronicles of the Riddick video games are really good though, Diction. Like Vin Diesel knows how to make a video game.
yeah, those Riddick games were pretty solid. They're fucking difficult. At least, well,
Yeah,
when I
they're
played
super
them,
hard.
I remember them being pretty difficult. But
Okay, Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay was the name of that video game. It was not called
Yep.
Chronicle of Riddick: the video game.
Or Chronicles
true.
of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay: the video game.
Video game.
No,
It doesn't
yeah,
even
the
have a
Lego,
colon. That's
Lego,
what
the
I'm
movie,
trying to
the
I'm trying to
video
find
game.
a bunch of a list of movie games because
It is not called Rambo: the video game. It is Rambo the video game.
Oh no.
As if,
Oh,
as if
no.
Rambo is a verb.
Remember? Does
That's
anyone
not a
remember
good
the
sign.
Aqua Teen, the Aqua
man.
Teen Hunger Force video game or movie? I mean, it was
Nah.
Super colon the movie. The name was actually spelled out colon. It wasn't. I love the
I
smell
also
of
think
Rambo's
that-
colon, dude. It's still.
Yeah.
Rambo the
My
video
boyfriend's
game's
colon.
Facebook page has 31,000 likes, one of which is Dave Oshry. So,
Well, Dave Oshry likes real dumb shit, so that's
I know,
good.
I know. That tells you all you need to know.
Such as KBMOD. I made myself sad.
How did they have 31,000 likes?
Probably bought.
Who
it.
is that psyched for
Yeah.
Facebook or for
Definitely bought 'em.
Rambo?
All right, viewer question time. Mimi sent in a huge list late, but I chose this question for a variety of reasons. Mimi asks, what is your opinion on 27.4 Twitch channels like Smite Game?
Oh,
I think it's good for the community of the game if it's a developer producing it.
Especially if they're broadcasting 3 hours a day more than our
Yeah.
standard 24-hour day.
Does Crip count as a 24/7 Hearthstone channel? Because I don't think I've ever checked Twitch and he was not streaming.
he only streams
I've-
for like 6 hours a day. It's,
I don't. He must be on my schedule then, because I've never not seen him streaming.
he's on a fuck you schedule.
You're
whatever
saying
I
that
want.
when Crip stream,
Your
Yeah,
eye
You know what?
ultimate
You're a bad fan.
go-to
You're a bad
stream.
fan. Why aren't you watching the VODs?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
God damn it.
because the VODs don't have stream on them. Don't have stream chat on them. I mean,
On a serious note, though, I don't know why more developers haven't thought to do this. I admire what Hi-Rez has done. I've talked about it
There's
on this podcast
plenty of them
before.
that don't. Well, there's a lot of developers that aren't doing 24/7, but they're
Yeah, you
doing
don't
like
need 24/7.
multiple times a week. You know, stuff like that.
Vlambeer, shout outs to Vlambeer doing that Nuclear Throne game as they develop it every single day. They stream the development, and actually every time I get into work and go to Twitch in the morning, it's Vlambeer is always front page, and it's always like a new thing in the game like that has been iterated on every time I tune in. So I think it's cool. I think
I don't see how it could possibly be a bad thing. Even if it was a
Right.
game I really fucking hated, maybe I'd get a little sick of seeing it in like the Twitch recommended channels. Like that's about it. That's like the extent of the downside to that. I don't see a single downside. Like and the positives are really obvious. I honestly believe Smite would have been gone and forgotten by now if they weren't streaming 24/7.
yep, but they're always there and very cool.
And you know other ways they're active in the community, but
Yeah.
that specifically comes to mind.
And are they out here like be president now? That's what I like to think that the people at Hi-Rez were saying every day. We president
Probably.
now.
Probably.
Major got bopped. I hope he wasn't banned. That dude's here all the time. Malcolm A asks, and this one I brought up because we've answered tons of what's your favorite alcoholic beverage or milkshake. What is your favorite drink that's non-alcoholic?
Seaman.
Coffee. Good coffee.
The green machine.
Naked?
What's that called? Yeah, the
Naked,
green machine
yeah.
naked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good
Mm.
shit.
There.
I'm hooked on Mio water. I drink
It's
so
not
much
bad.
Mio water.
I got sick
Which
of that really
flavor?
quick, though.
I like the is it grape pomegranate, and I also like strawberry watermelon.
Too sweet for me personally.
In
but I
terms
like
of
it.
soda, Dr. Pepper all the fucking way.
DP? Man,
I love DP. I mean, I love Dr. Pepper. It's
been years, bro.
Bring that one out. Dust that one off. Bring it off the shelf. Definitely coffee. I had actually today at the pho place. The dude came up and I didn't even see it on the menu. He's like, you want anything to drink? Korea? He's like, Vietnamese coffee? We were like, Vietnamese coffee? What? Like fucking yeah. Because me and my friend Vin, who was there, we're both really big coffee drinkers, and we both take it black and strong. You know, like our men.
Yeah, black and strong.
You do take it black and strong.
And
Like
and so
Terry
we were
Crews.
like, hell yeah, bring that shit on. And he comes out and he's like, it might be a little strong. So I brought out some hot water with it, and if it's too strong for you, you can dilute it a little bit. We were like, get the fuck out of here. It was delicious. It was like perfect coffee. It had this weird like teapot almost looking thing that sat on top of the cup and then straight
Yeah.
coffee into the cup.
Yeah, I didn't know how to work that the first time I had that.
wait, did
It
we?
was
Is
very
that what we
good.
had at that restaurant?
Yeah,
Nick?
that's what we did. We had Vietnamese ice.
God, that
coffees.
was good.
This was hot coffee, but he did offer us ice as well.
It's probably the same thing. It's just that
yeah.
the cup had
Yeah.
ice. in
Oh,
it.
probably
I know what my
is.
I know what my
and,
answer is. Oh, go ahead.
It was honestly hard to figure out because not only is it not intuitive at all when you're looking at it, but he was trying to explain how to work it because like he told us to do it in like 3 minutes from now, and we had no idea what he was saying. He was like really heavily accented, so we had like no fucking idea what he was saying, but we figured it out anyway. And at the bottom of the cup, we didn't realize there was this really like heavy sweet cream at the bottom that you mixed up.
This
you
is
gotta stir
exactly
it.
what we had. Yeah.
It's so good. It was fucking just amazingly good. I normally hate any sort of coffee that ends up with grounds in it. I like it like really, really filtered. And this had a shitload of grounds in it. I didn't even care. It was just incredible. It was like, honestly, between that and the pho, it was like the best meal I've had in forever.
So I'm gonna go with that's close. I'm gonna go with an Americano from the coffee place that Brandon and I walked up to at PAX Prime last year, and I can't remember the name of the place, but up on
Victrola.
Victrola, the Americano I had from there, just exquisite in every way. Good coffee. I'm going with that because good coffee is just as good. It's like good whiskey.
Mine's a little less fancy. When I go to Boston Market, which is not very often, but
What the fuck are you about to
Very-
say? What
this
the
is a very-
fuck are you about to say?
shut up. This is a very specific beverage because only Boston Market has this brand of Gold Peak iced tea. It's like a green citrus flavor of Gold Peak that they put it in their separate Gold Peak like things dispensers, and it's fucking incredible. But you can't find it anywhere else. No other place I've ever went to has it, and like Gold Peak has like discontinued it. So either Boston Market is sitting on like millions of gallons of this shit, and it's been expired for years, and I love it, or they only make it for Boston Market. But
I want to change my
incredible.
answer. I want to change my answer to Baja Blast.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that-
god!
that-
Baja
I knew
Blast
somebody was
is
going to bring
super
up Baja
I don't know
Blast.
how I forgot Baja Blast. Baja Blast is the number
I
one.
do
Also,
love
two
this
gay
Baja.
surfertage references in one podcast.
Did you know
Pumped
that
right
they
now.
have sangria flavored Baja Blast?
Yes.
What? No,
I
they
knew
do
that.
They have
Well, it's like a margarita sangria Baja Blast. It's called Sangrita.
Yep.
I still have yet to
Sangria
totally.
Blast.
I have yet to lose all self-respect and try Mountain Dew AM, which is orange juice and Mountain Dew poured together for the. You can get
I've
from
had
Taco
it.
Bell,
I've
so-
had it.
Is it? What is?
I
What does it
bet
taste
it's
like?
probably pretty good. I like Mountain Dew.
I had it when we
sounds
did the
good.
Child's Play Marathon last year.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
good.
feel like it'd be a real kick in
like a
the
spritzer.
a real
Okay.
kick in the face. Yeah.
When I used to drink soda, actually, and I'm trying to remember what restaurant. It was like a fast food place that I used to go to. I think it was Chick-fil-A. Actually, always had before I knew they were homophobic. Everybody, don't jump down my
I
throat.
still eat at Chick-fil-A all the time.
I ate
do
at Chick-fil-A
too. It's so
last
funny. I apologize
night.
to gay people
Delicious.
on Twitter every time I do, but I do it. But they always had the perfect ingredients for this. My friend came up with it, or like his friend came up with it, or something. Back in like junior high, it's 3 parts root beer and then a part fruit punch. Fruit beer. It's
All
fucking
right, get
delicious.
out.
Really?
It's
No, that
it
sounds.
doesn't
Brandon
sound
is
good.
real
It doesn't
mad.
sound good, but if you like root beer, it's so fucking
Brandon's
good.
upset.
And the ones that specifically the brands that they carried, you can't do it
Brandon's
with like
so mad.
any place that has Pepsi products. They're gonna have like fucking mug root beer and like I forget what brand they're like horrible like pure high fructose corn syrup tasting fruit punch. I forget what that brand is. Tropicana, I think, is the one that makes that one or something like that. Those are gross. If it's a place like that, those are gross. If you get Barks and High C fruit punch, those are the best ingredients, and they're fucking delicious together.
Damn.
I don't really drink soda anymore, but when I did, that was big.
Well, if I could tell you what is my least favorite drink, mug root beer would be up there because that is
God.
garbage.
It's
Mug root
horrible.
beer
It's
is
the worst root beer.
Terrible. It's
Mug
not
root beer, step up your fucking game. You guys are shit.
even- them and Eneman should get together and make a
Yeah.
fucking shit.
They should.
flavored
We've
should make
lost
beer.
2
They should
food
make a cookie-
sponsorships in 2 weeks. God
They
damn
should-
it.
They should make a fucking shit float of root beer and shitty root beer and shit cookies, and
so
just call it the shit float
Dude.
for people who hate themselves.
Did you tweet a picture of Enemans the other day? Was that you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
after
blocked.
saying
Dude,
that, I came into my
and that
office and
picture
somebody had a
was-
box of Entenmann's.
He
the
tweeted
best
at
example.
Entenmann's.
Yeah. Like that was the
think I
best
did.
example. Just looking at it, I can taste the shittiness. Like, look at the cookie. It's bad.
They look
They're
sad.
nasty. They're
It just
not
looks
good cookies.
sad.
They're shitty cookies. And you know what's funny is, despite how terrible they are, if they had been open, I probably would have
Yeah.
had a couple. I probably would have, throughout the day, I would have had a couple. I would have been like, there are chocolate chip cookies sitting right there. And then logical brain goes, yeah, but they're fucking Entenmann's cookies and they taste like garbage. And then the other part's like, but they're chocolate chip cookies. So I would be sitting there going back and forth. Then eventually I'd be like, all right, fine, I'll have one. And then I have, oh no, it's an Entenmann's cookie. It's like somebody just stepped in dog shit, kicked me in the mouth every single time. And then I would go back, and then like an hour later I would forget and be like, yeah, but there's chocolate cookies right there. And that would just repeat all day.
I just have this great image of someone kicking me in the mouth with dog shit on the end of their shoe, so it hurts a lot, and then dog shit flies in my
That's what
mouth.
eating an
And I'm
Entenmann's
just like,
cookie is
fuck,
like.
man, you kick me in the mouth, but now there's dog shit. This is
The
doubly
pain
horrible.
part of the analogy is the pain of the pain of expecting a good chocolate chip cookie, of eating a delicious baked treat. That's where the pain is in that analogy. It's the disappointment, and then the shit part is just the taste of the cookie.
Also,
And thus the metaphor comes together.
the best drink in the world is a professional. You're all,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's the best drink.
I would go for either sweet leaf tea, which is very difficult to find outside of Texas, but it's
Do you buy it on
great.
Amazon?
No, you used to be able to, and that's where I used to buy it. But now, like I think you can get it on Amazon in little like glass bottles, and they end up being like $3 each or something. But
Goddamn.
anyway, second or perhaps tied for first would be pretty much any type of like craft root beer, but mostly like IBC would probably be top choice in what you can get easily.
I love me some IBC.
But we should all try it professional. It is alcoholic, sort of, but you should drink one anyway.
And
Even
it
if you're
sounds
young, you-
terrible.
Sort of
It
alcoholic.
How
sounds
is it
terrible.
sort of alcoholic?
It sounds terrible, but when you try it, it's actually not nearly as
So-
gross as you would expect.
You need
Same thing with fruit beer.
you need a cup of coffee, and then you
Coffee?
need coffee, and then you
Coffee?
need to
Are you
pour
packing your car?
half a can of past Blue Ribbon in the coffee.
That does sound horrendous.
Sounds awful.
It's good. It's not bad. I'm
It's
telling
not
you.
bad.
I would try it if you made me one because you would know the correct proportions and stuff. But it
Also,
sounds horrible.
also we'd be hungover as shit. And you'd
I would
down
like
with
to
it.
take back my
sounds like a
answer
good
again.
hangover remedy.
And my new answer for best drink ever is Hyphy Mud. Which is the instant coffee
Yeah.
mixed into Pepsi or whichever soda is your
Oh,
favorite.
get out. That is
That
disgusting.
is awful. It's
Isn't it
not-
something they use before they lift in?
It's not
in
because it
prison?
makes you dangerous.
Yeah.
Ask Cali Muscle, 100%
Alright.
make you
Lord, God
dangerous.
damn it, Nick.
Next
God fucking
question. At TJ Moore 2014 asks, "What class in school did you do the best in, and which one did you do the worst in?"
English, math,
Lunch, best in
respectively.
lunch, worse than everything else.
Best
Yes,
in
lunch was the
lunch.
class at my school.
The
They
best
herded all the fat
kid.
people into the lunchroom, and then we would a teacher would instruct us on how fat we were, and then we would
Wait,
eat.
You had to be
Can you
instructed.
describe? Can you describe what made you better at lunch than others?
I like to eat a lot, and during lunch, during lunch class, whoever could eat the most was often the highest lauded. So I won a lot of stars and ribbons in that class. But it's a weird class because at the same time they're showing like the correct proportions of a male body at my age, like with the little, with like one of those sticks, and they're like, "Oh, you're overweight," blah blah blah. But I didn't mind; it was fine. I failed everything else.
Yeah, well,
I-
you were getting poked with a stick, so you were probably happy.
I was best at English and worst at math. In fact, when I went to college, I took Algebra 2 and then stopped taking math. I had already taken Algebra 2 in 10th grade, but I took it again in college. My only math class.
Yeah, serious answer, math as well. Fucking
Yeah, math I did the
I
worst.
was-
I did the best.
I was
in
good at
computer.
math and worst at organic chemistry, and I got an A in organic chemistry with like a 70%. So
That curve,
it
though.
was like a
That
60%
curve.
rather. So, and that was an A. That was like
Guys
the
went to high
second
school
highest
that
grade in the
curves?
class.
yeah, we had
whenever
classes like that.
everybody was failing your class, you kind of had no choice.
Our
And
AP
then I also had to take it in college, and I got like a 65%, which was also an A in college as well. So
We had
apparently,
an-
organic chemistry curves are very common.
Yeah.
We had an Algebra 2 teacher who was so horrible. I think 60% of our class failed, and they didn't curve it. I have no idea how the fuck they got away with it. She retired like 2 years later because she was out around 60% of the year, alternating between vacations and strokes.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh, so her
old
time
as
off was
fucking
it was
dirt.
how many people had to fail in her class. So it was like I was
Yeah.
gone 60% of the year, so
And-
this is how many people have to fail my class.
Exactly. And then when she was actually there, she was also just a horrible teacher. For some reason, as long as she'd been a teacher, this was her first year teaching non-honors, and she didn't know how to teach non-honors, and I was not a fucking honors student when it came to math. I was always terrible at math. It kind of speaks that I either didn't get along with or failed the classes of, not failed, but did poorly in the classes of, except for that one, of math teachers. And I was always the favorite of all my English teachers. Some of my English teachers I keep up with via email to this day. I just always had a knack for English, for writing and all that, and reading and all that bullshit. But
That bullshit,
the
like
one-
being able
My,
to decipher
the one
text.
math teacher, the
That's weird
one math
considering
teacher
you
I
can't
got
read.
along with was my geometry teacher and I think it speaks a lot because when we first entered that class, she was like, everybody wants to ask me, when am I going to use this in my life? When am I going to use geometry? Why do I need to learn this? You don't have to. It's stupid. They're making you take it. So let's just buckle down and get
Whoa,
through this together.
what?
This is horrible.
I feel like I've used out of all the math that I've used in my life, the most has been geometry.
Yeah, geometry is actually well, I mean, she's talking about shit like fucking measuring the area of a hexagon, like that, like
Oh,
based on
yeah,
the
you're
angles
never
and
gonna use
bullshit
that.
like
But if you,
I don't have time
But
for that shit when we
basic
play Super
geometry,
Hexagon.
yeah, but you learn basic geometry in like some of your algebra
Are you
classes.
are you implying that finding the area of a hexagon is not basic geometry?
yo, what's the volume of this cylinder?
I mean, basic. Like, area of a square,
pitch,
area of a
yeah.
rectangle, because that's the shit you
I
use in like
am
an area
too.
of a room, right? Like not the kind of shit you're getting onto in like anything like past the third week you're never going to use in your life
I'm
unless you're
curious
going
of
into
what the
math.
volume of a cylinder is when I'm crying and opening a can of SpaghettiOs. And then I can just read the ounces on the side, so there's really not a lot of work there.
God damn it.
I will say I used to WoW. I don't know why. Mr. Houghton, he was my creative writing teacher, and I used to write poems within like I would jerk off on the computer for an hour right before the poems had to be handed in. I would write these poems, and for some reason he loved like stupid bullshit. I had one about a car accident that was like, oh god, I hope I can find it. I used to save it.
Oh,
If I find
man.
it, I'll read it. But it's like such a piece of shit, and he would just read so much into it. And he had me get up in front of an assembly hall once and read like 3 of my poems. It was so embarrassing.
Did everybody
it was
here
total
write
bullshit.
some real emo shit in high school? Because I definitely did.
I actually, for someone who actually went to graduate school in poetry, I didn't write anything in high school. I didn't have-
Yeah. Well, Dan
I,
actually could write poetry.
Well, Nick is
but I-
still in high school, so I mean,
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm just getting out of that phase.
I do recall all the way back in junior high, we were learning like all about prepositional phrases, and all the assignment was in class was write down 20 prepositional phrases, just 2 words.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember.
That's all you needed. All you needed to do was just fill a page with those 2 word phrases, or a couple word phrases. And I don't know if it was actually that I was any smarter than anybody else, or if it was just that I actually liked English and everybody else was like, I'm in junior high. This is gay. I don't want to do this. Like that's what I assume is the problem. But nobody else seemed to be able to get it. I knocked out 20 of them in like a minute, like a fucking like 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. And I went and handed it into my teacher, and she was like, do another 20. And I was like, all right, did that. And she was like, okay, take off the rest of the class. We had like 20 minutes left in class. And I actually made like $20 that day because a bunch of kids paid me $5 each to do their thing.
perhaps
There you
that
go.
says more about your school than you.
The thing is like it's not even like a bad school or like a bunch of kids going like
It's
graduating. Went to nice,
Philadelphia, so
it's not Philadelphia. It's fucking rich at like every single.
Yeah,
when
he's out in the burbs.
Actually, I'm out in the burbs, and I mentioned to like Hardballer who lives in Philadelphia and Drake who goes to school in Philadelphia, where I actually
Drake?
live.
You go to school with Drake.
Damn! Wait, is this pre-paralyzed Drake or this post-paralyzed Drake?
His Twitter handle is actually Def Not Drake, so he actually might not be Drake. No, I think his middle name is Drake, so he goes by Drake. I think is how it works.
I didn't even know.
Because his real name is like Ariel or something. Ha ha! I got you, Drake. He's probably listening right now.
His name's Areola.
and
Yeah, Areola.
like the Little Mermaid or something like
Nice.
that.
Oh.
I'll never look
Like-
at the Little
like the
Mermaid
little
again
mer-
after
like the,
Wolf Among
like
Us.
the pink
Jesus.
area of the Little Mermaid's nipple, the areola.
Right.
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
think
but
about
Hardball.
that.
But
I
like, when
watched the Little
when I mentioned
Mermaid
to them where I
strip.
actually lived, they were like, "Oh, you live in the fancy area." Like it's. I don't go to school with like a bunch of dumbasses. I didn't go to school with like a bunch of dumbasses.
Between you and your prepositional phrases and Scott's school fan fiction, we got regular J.K. Rowlings over here.
All right.
Honestly, like I don't know what the problem was because none of them were that dumb. I think they were just in junior high and couldn't be asked to do anything.
Next question. This is
I
some
was good at all
practical
classes,
advice.
by the way.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Fucking nerd.
What is the best course of action when you accidentally get explosive diarrhea in your pants and you can't drive yourself home? How bad is this diarrhea that you can't
Wow.
just like...
Walk up
this
to
is-
a random person in public and just scream as loud as you can, "Why did you just shit on me?" and play it off like it didn't happen.
Yeah,
It wasn't you.
You
Why
could
did you
could
shit on me?
Why
You
did
could-
you do that? Why would you do this to me? My
could
pants
pull the-
have your shit all over them now.
you could pull the classic "somebody put shit in my pants" and act really panicked, or you could embrace it and just start acting like you're homeless and crazy and do some kind of acrobatic handstand and start spinning around so that the shit starts getting flung out of your pant legs like a sprinkler and just start screaming "shitakopter, shitakopter, shitakopter" and watch everybody run until they call the police.
What I want to know is
Sometimes you just gotta grab the bull by the horns.
how is this so bad that you can't drive? Like,
You don't want to fuck up your
Like,
fucking leather.
you can't
interior.
even move your arms or anything. Like, just I would rather take my pants off or something. And like, I don't even know. Like, how bad is it Like, yeah, just shit in your pants like a man. That's Chad's advice.
I like this
God
chat.
damn. I think John wins here, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
I
how
mean,
you do it,
Are we
dude.
saying? Are we saying that you can't drive because of the diarrhea, or you're just saying like you get
you're
it,
like in a
but then you
situation
also
where you
can't
can't drive home, I guess.
That
is
could
what-
be it as well. It
Is
could
the
also be
diarrhea
that you're
causing the inability to drive, or are you just unable to drive because you're dumb? Like,
Exactly. See,
what
details
situation?
matter.
Like,
Or
'cause
maybe
your
you don't
car's
have
in
your
the
car
shop,
with you,
like,
maybe
you were
you
just
were-
dropped off somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just so traumatized by the amount your anus is spasming into your pants that you can't even you don't even have the mental capacity to drive without endangering yourself and others.
So there you go, guys. You can either shit a copter your way out of the situation, or you can blame the shit that is in your pants on someone else.
on a poor bystander. By the way, I'd like to clarify that my solution was shitacoptering further into the situation.
There you go.
Not out of it.
You got to embrace that.
Unless you can fly.
This next question is
You
about
really
the
have to lean into it.
about the questionable parentage of Fat Attack 82. Fat Attack asks, how many dads should I have? I have 46, one for each chromosome, and I want more dads. I don't. I
I really don't. I mean, Dan is father to many children.
I mean,
you
I
can
have-
probably just tack him on.
Yeah.
He's already Rohan's.
I'll be your
father.
dad. Yeah, I'm Rohan's dad. I'll be your dad too. I have no problems with being more dad to someone else. The answer here is really you should have either one dad or two dads. But 46 seems like, I mean, are you living in a polygamist gay cult? I don't like that's
Maybe
the only
he's living in
I
a
like,
really
I like how you have underlying tone there, like that's a fucking bad thing. How would you accept people for their fucking lifestyles?
maybe he's living in a really big polygamous heterosexual cult.
and
It
he's
just
but
has
it's
double. He just doesn't feel like
why
talking
does-
about his mom's because that's just a whole nother can of worms.
Why does he need one dad for each chromosome? I'm not
That is-
clear on
it's
like,
part of the
like,
cult,
Are
obviously.
they?
Clearly, Brandon was bad at biology. That was
Is it?
one of the classes
Is it
he
a
was bad
symbolic
at.
gesture or like a biologic?
I think
gesture?
it's a-
Like
I
he
think it's a
needs
symbolic.
nurturing per chromosome.
You might not understand
Do
anything.
you know
about
Fat
biology.
Attack? He may need 46
So what
fathers
happened
to
when he was
steer him.
created was 46 dudes jerked off into a petri dish and they mixed it
Ah.
together, and they never did a test to figure out who was the paternal father. So I mean,
So we
they're
went
all
to
still
Montel
in-
and we found out.
No, they still haven't. That's why there's still 46 of them hanging around because like they haven't found
Otherwise,
out. So.
otherwise 45. I mean, then again, it could just be that the 45 other guys who aren't really the parents, all 46 of them might not even care about the DNA test because when you split child support that many ways, it's probably like 10 cents a month.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
It's true.
Well, child support, they
true,
just
you're just
base it upon how
diversifying your
much you
risk.
make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make if you make a lot of money, you're still paying
What
a
if I have
shitload.
99 parents but a mom ain't one? Oh, that's a good question, Jupu man.
Good stuff.
All right. Last couple questions. Actually, last question. We're just gonna stop. Yeah, there you go.
This sounds please.
From Anion, if your Todger, which is the best word for penis, one of them, if not the best, if your Todger was a celebrity, who would it be, and what would it yell during climax? And his example is Alex Trebek yelling, "Did the daily double?"
All right.
Shia LaBeouf because it's everywhere and nobody likes it.
Actually, Shia LaBeouf is a good answer, and then at climax it would say, "I am sorry."
I was gonna say. I was gonna say a climax is just went no, which is his entire dialogue throughout all the
Yeah, all the
Transformers
Transformers movies.
movies. Literally all he said.
Bumblebee! No.
No.
Optimus! No.
Shy's a good answer. Fuck celebrity.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Okay.
This is an obvious one because then he
You
just
smell what the
says,
cock is
"Can you
cooking?"
smell what the cock is cooking?" Yeah.
Oh.
That was an easy one. I like that.
The Pope. Wow. God
What would the Pope?
Veni, vidi,
bless
vici.
you.
bless you.
Bless.
Thing.
Richard
I'm
Cox
trying to think
sneezes
of what
out.
celebrity really.
Is the Pope really a celebrity? Like, it
Yeah,
feels like.
kinda.
I mean,
By
he's
the way-
famous. I don't know if I would call him a celebrity. Maybe like a a
I
figurehead.
heard a new. Have you guys ever heard the term cocksnot?
Yeah, we
No,
learned
but
about
that's-
that. We learned about that one the other day.
No, we learned about that the other day, but I think that's a great description of
I like that.
semen.
I like
Cocksnot.
Cocksnot.
Yeah, right. Yep.
I'm trying to think of what celebrity is like the personification of my dick.
Yeah, same.
Donald Trump.
I do like
You're fired?
Anion's answer in chat of Jaden Smith.
Smith. What would he
That he could
say?
ask you
Do
really-
you think trees have feelings? Like that's what it would ask.
or
It's like-
or it would say, "When I die, then you will all understand."
God. Jaden Smith is the worst. His Twitter account's the worst, rather.
good catchphrases are
I'm
key
gonna
to
go with
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
that. Okay.
God.
I don't. What would he yell?
Pecan Sandies.
Well, yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah, let's go with Pecan Sandies. Your boy Bang. Oh man, that Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri, that's a rocket vagina.
That's a
man.
rockin' vagina.
That is money.
Oh yeah,
All right. That's it.
it's
The way it
depending
just
on.
drips off the bone. That is money.
You see the way this is dripping off the bone?
Good God. Oh.
God damn it.
Can I say Fwiz, chaboy, from heads in chat?
Old Fwiz.
Chaboy.
And you get a baby. And you get a baby.
What's Paula
Could go
Dean's
with,
catchphrase?
Oh God.
E4142. Say it really helps me out.
God damn it.
That's broken.
Nick, what the fuck is that? Hello, sing. My name is Yasak Cock.
You suck cock.
You suck cock. I'm 27 years old. I live in Florida.
700 MMR.
As you can see, I'm pretty skilled. Oh
All right.
my God. All right.
Okay.
Compose yourself.
Well, that was a good question. Thank you for. This picture of APL from Respawn is really creeping me out. I gotta be honest with you. That is it for this week. Episode 129 has come to an end. Make sure you follow all of us on Twitter. All those Twitters are on the screen in front of you right now. Follow KBMOD on Twitter at KBMOD Gaming, Facebook.com/KBMOD, YouTube.com/KBMOD Gaming. And of course, follow us here on Twitch as we head towards 10K followers. Let's get there. If you really like what you saw tonight, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to support the channel. And we will see you guys next time.
See you guys next time. Shameless promotion. I'm streaming on Mixify after this, so I'm gonna spam that in chat.
Boom.
There you go.
Done.
Boom.
Later, bros.
See you guys.
Bye.